Markel Johnson, of course, is doubtful or questionable. Does that complicate your preparations in it, or how do you look at that?
I don't. We prepare for everybody on their team to play. And knowing that he's a really good player, but they've played well without him. They played well with him. They don't really change what they do, whether he's on the floor or not. So it really doesn't change, our preparation. We prepare. Same for everybody.
You're preparing like he's going to play. I mean,
I don't know how you do anything different. We still have the same practice players, so I think he'll play. It's not my decision.
Is it fair to say your team has taken their play to a better level, a newer or more improved level than maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago? And if so, what are some of the things you like from what you see right now?
I think we're continuing to get better, but I'd have said that 3 or 4 weeks ago as well. I think the season is one that, as a coach, you always strive to keep improving along the way, despite the results, whether you win or you lose. I think, I've said many times right here that, when you win, if that's a panacea and you don't worry about anything that happened poorly, or you feel like, okay, we're fine, and I think you're fooling yourselves. And I think we've done a really good job of being able to take both the good and the bad, learn from it, and try to keep improving. That's our goal each and every day, as boring as it sounds.
What made Cincy State so effective on offense?
They have a very aggressive style. They have a bunch of what I would call tweeners that are difficult matchups. They play with a lot of confidence. They go quickly from defense to offense. They try to generate offense from their defense. They've got guys that shoot it and go get it. They're one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country, and I just think it speaks to the type of personality that Coach Keats wants to have his teams play with. Very aggressive, very confident, and you can see that all the way through each of the individual players on their team.
Chris, Braxton Beverly is not one of the leading scorers. I think it's like 9 a game, but they seem to play better when he has that all-around good game. Just to talk about what he does for them, kind of as a point guard, as a guy kind of being out there, and he does knock down shots.
Yeah, he plays equally well, both on and off the ball. I think a year ago he was had the best assist-turnover ratio in the league and the best ever for a freshman in ACC play. So that says a lot about his ability to make the right play. He's also a guy that isn't afraid of the moment. Big shots, the ball finds him, and he finds the net. So we have to account for where he's at on the floor. He may not look the part, but he plays the part. And I've watched him for a long time now, not just in college, and so it doesn't surprise, I think, any of us the type of career he's having so far at NC State.
Coach Keats talked about Jordan's range and how that can be dangerous, but obviously him hitting long shots is big for you guys, but how does it impact just the threat of him being able to step back and hit that shot? Who benefits the most from that? Is that CC or is it the bigs inside?
Well, I think all of it. I think if we're a team that is committed to getting the ball in the lane through various ways, and I think we have been, then I think it makes defense a heck of a lot harder when you got a guy that's sitting down 23, 24 feet and can consistently make shots from that range. He plays with a ton of confidence, and we have the utmost confidence in him. And so just again, the further your defense has to cover, the more challenging it's going to be. He's not the only one that can shoot it from that distance, but obviously he's one of the best in the country at it.
You talked about kills after the game the other day. Did you use that at Xavier? How'd that come about? And
stole what?
And why 3 instead of 4 or 5 or whatever other number?
I don't know. I didn't ask when we plagiarized. I just sort of think that's a heck of a thing, and it gives your team a benchmark. And it's something that we used probably the last 7-8 years when I was at Xavier, and we sort of carried it over. I think our team's defending at a much higher level. We need to, playing some of the best teams in the country night in, night out. we certainly have another one tomorrow night. So, offense is going to come and go. You talk about Jordan's range or guys playing well, but bottom line, if you generate really good shots in your offense and you don't make them, if you can't stop anybody, you're not going to be in the game for a very long time. So hopefully that's something that our team continues to understand. It doesn't make our job any easier because, again, a lot of these teams are really talented offensively. They have great systems. But that's where it starts for our team.
Who'd you steal it from?
I can't tell that. I can't tell you. I think Tony Bennett. But he might have stolen, he's an honest guy, but probably stole it from his dad.
Kristen Cunningham, you just talk about what you expect out of your point guards and how he matches up to that and how he's developed since he got here.
Yeah, I just expect, whether it's a point guard or an off guard, just do what the game tells you to do. If you're open, shoot the ball. If you're not, pass the ball. And I think that, CC just has a way about him that guys really enjoy playing with him. He makes the game easier for his teammates. I think he's become a much better defender during his time with us. I think he recognized that, physically he may not stack up against some of the guys that he's going up against, whether that's height, whether that's athleticism, length. So he's got to be able to use his mind nonstop throughout the basketball game on both ends of the floor. And it's a challenge, but one he's, I think, doing a great job in.
Chris, back in the top 25 this week, obviously not the end goal, but what does it say about this team, how they've built to this point, and is that motivation still moving forward to stay in and get higher?
I don't worry about any of that stuff. Success is never final, failure is never fatal. It's just about getting better each and every day. I've been a part of teams that have been ranked in the top 25 all year, and I've been part of teams that haven't been ranked. And it's about the expectations we have within the locker room. I certainly hope nobody on our team feels like we've arrived, because we'll get sent one of those fat L's real quick if that's how we feel.
Chris, CC said he thought he maybe made it easier on his teammates when he became a little more aggressive offensively. Was that something you guys sat down and talked about? I mean, he's taken more shots than he maybe was early in the year, and it seems to have opened things up for other people.
We put him in positions where he needs to be aggressive, but you give CC a lot of credit for sort of figuring out what makes our team go. I think he's so smart and he's so mature, and you don't find out a whole lot. Guys like him don't grow on trees. He just he does everything that you ever ask. If you tell him, hey, you need to play on one foot tomorrow, he'll play on one foot. If you ask him to shoot left-handed, he'll shoot left-handed. He doesn't have any type of yeah but or question in his mind. He's a run through the wall type of guy, and I think we've asked him to be more aggressive. And I think as he's played well, he's figured out that's the best thing he can do for our team. And again, there are going to be nights where he doesn't score as many points, and that's okay. Do what the game tells you to do.
Chris, what are you guys taking better shots, or why do you think your offensive rebounding has improved in ACC play?
I don't think we were going as hard as we should have earlier in the year. I think Coach Gaudio's done a really good job of browbeating our guys to get on the glass. And, it's a way for us to gain extra possessions. I mean, it is for any team, but it's just all about effort. Getting your head under the rim by the time the shot comes out. And, I think that the guys on our team that are allowed an offensive rebound are doing a really good job of that. And we need to get all the possessions that we can.
Chris, in today's age of college basketball, is experience overrated at all, or do you see a team that's got some veterans on it and expect them to kind of know how to handle a road game, maybe not make as many silly mistakes, that kind of thing?
I think experience is a lot. It's not everything. Sometimes it's negative experience. If your team won 5 games 3 years in a row, you probably wouldn't run back as seniors. But I think that anytime that you can go through something and learn from it, good, bad, and different, I think it makes you better the next time around. And when you go on the road, you're usually all you got. You may have, Georgia Tech, we had a nice little segment of fans that were rooting on the Cards, but it's not always the case. You got to be able to stay together, and veteran guys have been through those highs and lows and understand that teams are going to make a run in their own building. So I think experience helps a lot.
Kristen said that he watches the standings, that they're posted regularly, and I'm paraphrasing, but that it fuels him and the Cards. Well, how do you deal with that part of the game in terms of either motivating them or just watching the race?
Well, it's a long conference year. We have 18 games. They all count the same, home or away. And, there's not equity within the schedule just because of the number of teams. But, I as a player, I just sort of always wanted to know where I stood. So that's sort of how I coach my team. So we have a standings board back there. We have a kills board back there. You're always being evaluated and always being judged, and we understand that.
What has Andy Kettler brought to this program? I know it seems like he's really not afraid to get in the guys' faces and challenge them day in and day out.
Nothing. The most overrated hire. You can tell him. No, don't tell him I said that. I love Andy. First, he cares for our guys well beyond them being basketball players. He just loves them as people. And I think that allows him, secondly, to do his job at a really, really high level. I don't think there are many strength coaches in the country that are better at what they do. I don't know what time he wakes up in the morning, but I think he comes here, he lifts weights, and he goes home and probably eats GNC products all night and can't wait to get back with the team and lift weights the next day. So he brought him because I wanted him to add an element of toughness. I think we all saw that with Huggins' teams, and I think Andy was a big part of it. But it goes back to you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And Andy probably could make him drink, but he has guys that'll run through a wall for him, even though he pushes really hard. So I think he's helped our guys with obviously their body and their mindset.
Is there anything about him that surprised you since you arrived here, or did you pretty much get what you thought you were going to get?
I'll leave the surprises off the microphone. He's been awesome.
Chris, 4 of your 6 signees were nominated for McDonald's. If you don't get one in this year, you're going to at some point, into your career here, the way you guys are recruiting. What would that mean for this program now to have a McDonald's guy either this year or next year?
It would mean Louisville's back to where we belong. When I watched this program from afar and saw guys that came here and made it to the league, and again, a lot of them were self-made and they weren't annoyed coming out of high school, but there were also guys that were consensus 5 stars from whatever service you subscribe to. I know what service you subscribe to. So we're going to keep recruiting the best players that we can. But having said that, if you walk in here and you're not a McDonald's All-American, our job is the same. Is to get you better, develop you. I think we did that a lot at Xavier. And we're going to continue to do that whether you're a McDonald's guy or not.
Anyone else? Great, thank you.
Thanks.